Today, we're going to dive into something that happens every single day on a construction site, but is, often dangerously overlooked. We're talking about how you verify the materials that actually show up.
So let me ask you something. When you think of danger on a construction site, what's the first thing that pops into your head, right? It's probably heavy machinery, power tools, maybe scaffolding high in the air. Well, what if I told you the most dangerous tool wasn't any of those things?
Yup, a ballpoint pen. Sounds kind of crazy, right? But a simple signature from that pen can literally be the difference between a project's success and its total failure, or even whether a building is safe or just a disaster waiting to happen.
And that really gets to the heart of what we're talking about today, the massive risks that are all packed into one tiny little action. A single signature on a delivery note, if you do it carelessly, can unleash this whole cascade of problems.
And just look at how fast things can go south. That quick signature, the one you do without even thinking, well, that can lead to using the completely wrong materials, which compromises the building's strength right from the start. It could mean you end up installing damaged goods, or you accept way fewer materials than you actually paid for. And before you know it, your project's budget and your timeline are just spiraling out of control. So the most important thing to get your head around is what that delivery note really is. You have to think of it like a legal light switch. This second your pen touches that paper, bam, the responsibility for all those materials just flips. It's not the supplier's problem anymore. It's yours. Their quality, the right quantity, their condition, it all lands squarely on your shoulders.
Okay, so that's the scary part. But don't worry, there's a really powerful defense against all this chaos. It's a systematic, six-step process, and it's designed to catch every single error and protect your project from the ground up. Let's call it the six-step safeguard. So here it is, the whole system at a glance. It's a really clear, logical flow, right? From the moment that truck arrives at the gate to the second the materials are put away safely, every single step is a checkpoint. It's a fail-safe. Let's take a closer look at a couple of the most important steps. All right, step 2. This is your first line of defense, and it happens before you even lay eyes on the materials. You have to interrogate the paperwork. You put that delivery note right next to your original purchase order. Do the supplier names match up? The quantities? The specific grade of steel or the exact type of cement? Any little mismatch here is a huge red flag. And then comes step 3, and this is where the paperwork gets a reality check. Just imagine for a second, you ordered Y16 high-tensile steel for some really critical structural support, but what actually shows up on the truck is Y12 mild steel. Now, to the untrained eye, they might look pretty similar, but to an engineer, that difference is absolutely catastrophic. We're talking about the difference between a safe structure and a ticking time bomb. This is exactly why you can never ever skip the physical inspection. Okay. Theory is great and all, but let's see how this six-step safeguard actually pays off in a simple, real-world scenario. This is where the process really proves its worth in cold, hard cash. Let's say your purchase order is crystal clear. You need 500 bags of cement for the next big concrete pour. That's what you ordered, and that's what you're expecting to see. The truck arrives. You or your site administrator immediately start step 4, quantity confirmation. You're not just glancing at the pile, you are doing a proper, thorough count. And that's when you discover there are only 400 bags on the pallets. The math here is pretty simple, right? Your project is short 100 bags of cement. Now, by following the process, you've just caught a huge error before it cost you a single penny. Why? Because you haven't signed that delivery note yet. Now, just imagine for a second you skipped that step. You just signed the paper to get the driver on his way. Well, suddenly that loss is your problem. The project is out 100 bags of cement. The supplier can just hold up your signature and say, hey, you confirmed you got everything. Your costs shoot up and your whole schedule gets thrown into chaos while you're scrambling to find the missing material. The process prevented all of that. So you see, mastering this process is about so much more than just following a checklist. It's about a fundamental shift in your mindset. It's about recognizing that material control is a core professional duty for anyone responsible for a construction site. And having that mindset means you have to actively avoid these common and very costly mistakes. Things like signing blind, just getting lazy and skipping the physical check, or forgetting to log the delivery in the materials register, which completely breaks your audit trail. Or even something as simple as letting an untrained person accept a delivery. Every single one of these is a potential disaster. And that really brings us to the ultimate takeaway here. This is not just a good idea. It's not a best practice you can choose to ignore.
For a site administrator, a project manager, anyone in a position of responsibility, material control is a fundamental professional obligation. It is a non-negotiable part of the job.
So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with this one thought. The safety and the success of a building, well, that's decided long before the first brick is ever laid, long before the first bit of concrete is poured. It's decided in these small moments of diligence, with a clipboard and a sharp eye. So the real question is your process solid?